Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. I want to continue the conversation we had initiated last week about the Demiurge. In the Gnostic teachings, which had disappeared for many centuries due to church restrictions about the so-called heresy of the Gnostics, but the Essene, which was the sect of the Gnostic teachers that Jesus belonged to, had foreseen this, and they buried a lot of the document in clay jar in the Dead Sea area and the Nag Hammadi library. So there were all these clay jars that had all these documents that they had foreseen that something was going to happen, and they buried it. And then they were rediscovered, and a lot of that information now became available to us, to the West, revealing gospels that had been suppressed by the church. The Gospel of Thomas, many other gospels, the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. And in the teachings, we discover an ever-present figure that the Gnostic calls the Demiurge. They claim that the Demiurge is a false god. They call him the king of the world, and he's the one that has created the physical world, and he entraps humanity, world leaders, even spiritual people, in a world of illusion and mirrors by getting our ego. The way the Demiurge works is that he gets you entrapped into this because the Demiurge cannot emanate or create anything, but it can take material from your consciousness. And he's a celestial being, but he's a fallen celestial being. In the language of the Bible, he is Lucifer. In the book, my book that's coming out on December 2nd, there's a whole chapter 3, that's about 3 fallen entities: Hasatan, the Archons, and Lucifer. They are not all the same. Each one of them having different role and plays different kind of game in trying to entrap our consciousness. So the Demiurge specifically, like the Archon, cannot emanate anything. It creates a world of illusion that it entraps us in. They call him sometimes the usurper. He is trying to usurp the kingdom of God by creating a fake world that he thinks mirrors the celestial world. And just like a mirror, a mirror can only reflect. When you're looking at a mirror, you see depth, you see all kinds of things, but it's only reflecting you, and it's an inverted reflection. So he inverts everything. It's a mirror image. It's an inverted reflection. Okay? In Gnostic teaching, the light, because no one would willingly, you have to understand how clever the Demiurge is. The Demiurge does not enslave by creating darkness. In fact, he creates counterfeit light. Okay? He creates false light because no one would willingly kneel down to darkness. So if at the beginning of ascension, and at the beginning of us truly making an effort to move forward toward ascension, we encounter the dweller on the threshold. The dweller on the threshold is Satan. That's the being that attack or test Job by making us wonder if we're an imposter or not. If the desire that we have to ascend, the being that we want to become, the being of light that we are trying to get to, are we worthy of that, or are we so broken and so twisted and so corrupt that we cannot become that being? So that's the first test. It's the dweller under the threshold. Okay? And it's very difficult to pass, and I share with you how you passed it. It's by recognizing that you're human, accepting your imperfection, know that you're broken, whatever the dweller is showing you, you look at it within yourself. You don't ignore it, you don't try to fight it with strength and with will and with power. You would be entrapped even more. You do the exact opposite. You yield into it, you listen to it, but with the understanding that whatever the dweller is showing you is nothing more than a fraction of the totality of your psyche. It's making it now seem that that's all you are. You're imperfect, you're twisted, you're Quasimodo, you're not good enough, and that's all you are. But in fact, you're a lot more than that. And that's not being brought up to your attention at the moment. And that's the trick that the dweller does, is that and he's called the accuser, and he's accusing you of sins, of imperfections. And so as this is going on, you need to recognize that, yes, I am what you're saying. I am imperfect. I am human. I am flawed. I am broken. But I am a lot more than that. There are other high qualities and high virtues that also are part of who I am. And that will also help you begin to accept yourself. And therefore, if I am a lot more than just my brokenness, I'm going to now learn to accept myself, forgive myself for being broken, forgive myself for being imperfect, forgiving myself for not being an ascended master yet, for forgiving myself for not being Jesus-like or Buddha-like or Melchizedek-like or Kuan Yin-like. And as I forgive myself for all of these things, that forgiveness will then yield into acceptance. And that acceptance will eventually transmute into self-love. And from this brokenness, the depth of self-doubt and the depth of self-flagellation will rise when you begin to love yourself. True light, now grounded in the crack and the fissures that had existed in you. So in a way, the Hasatan, the accuser, is doing us a favor. Now, the final test of ascendance is the king of the world. It's the Demiurge. In a lot of occult literature, every time you hear somebody mentioning the great architect of the universe, be very careful, because you see a lot of people are saying this in their writing. They are talking about the Demiurge, the usurper. Okay? And I want to explain to you, by the way, any question, any comments so far? It's just a review of some of the stuff we had done before.
They're talking about what? The architect?
The great architect of the universe.
Okay, so that's Demiurge.
That's a trigger. It should be a trigger for you to know that anyone that talks about this, it's an immediate trigger, should be a trigger for you to understand that they are talking about the Demiurge,
Yeah.
the false god. Okay?
Yeah.
The false creator.
Yep.
Okay? You have to be very careful if you hear this. Okay, and to be honest, the creation of the Demiurge is everywhere. No one can escape it. No one, not you and I. You can't battle it with sword. You can, because it's everywhere. It's in our consciousness. It's a very insidious trap. No one can escape it. And the way the Gnostic teaching teaches us to overcome it is that you have to look at it directly. You can't ignore it. If you try to battle it, to fight it with sword or with ritual, it will entrap you even more. And the way it entraps that false light is by the closer you are to the light, the closer, when you get to a point of spiritual practice, when you begin to sense that you're close to the light, you can feel this great ease and this great liberation, and you're so close to ascending, you're so close. it will continually feed you a narrative and a storyline to make you think that there is more hurdle for you to overcome. It will continue to feed you. It's about identity. It's about creating an endless identification of the ego. It's an ego trap. It let the ego believe that you're superior to everyone else. You're walking around and you're seeing everyone else, for example, what's going on in the world right now. Okay? If you think about what's going on with the world right now, where people are talking about inversion, they're inverting everything. Politically, socially, everybody's trying to invert everything by making us trying to gaslight us into believe that the corruption that they're creating is actually the light. So they are definitely connected to the usurper and to the Demiurge in a big way. And the way you have to disconnect yourself is by watching your ego for narrative. For example, if you're walking around and you're seeing people going off on a tangent and, wherever they are going, in fact, more so than your other side now, with the polarization and all the crazy, vile and inhumane narratives that are going around. If you think you're better than them, if you think you're superior or you're morally more sophisticated, more ascended than them, you're inside the mirror. You're being trapped. You got caught in the trap. The trap is so insidious that that sense of moral superiority or spiritual superiority and the sense of if you keep seeking and thinking that I'm so close to ascension, I'm almost an ascended master, and you become the goal of reaching ascension becomes now the trap in the mirror. You have to be non-attached. The way you overcome the trap, you have to be non-attached to everything, including the goal of becoming ascended. In Tibetan Buddhism, that non-attachment, even enlightenment, you have to become non-attached to it. Your ego has to disconnect to everything. So that when for example, you're standing at the threshold of enlightenment and you're feeling this great ease and you're feeling this light and this benevolence and this kindness that's coming in, what you need to do, there are days where all of us feel this incredible ease and benevolence when we say, I am one with my creator, all this light, all this benevolence. What you do at that moment, you witness even that benevolence. You feel it, you don't ignore it. You look at the light, you look at the luminosity. You don't ignore it. You look at it, but you become non-attached to it, you witness it, and one of the things that I say that has tremendously helped me, whether it's good or bad, because the narrative is, if I am connected and I have that identity and I'm connected now, I am better. Where the mirror gets you is that in the back of your mind, you're saying, I am better than anyone else. When that happens, you're in the trap. If the trap is closed around you. And the way you overcome it is one of the things I've been saying to myself over and over again. Even when I feel this great ease and this great sense of like exhale and expansion, what am I not seeing? I can feel the ease, the benevolence, the kindness, but I can feel that there is something else behind it that's emerging that I'm not seeing yet. What am I not hearing? For me, hearing is very key into getting into that space. It's all my feeling, sensation, hearing. What am I not sensing? What am I not perceiving? There's something else that what am I blinded to? What am I blinded to? What am I not perceiving? And as I pose this query, I let the universe respond to me. And I stay silent and still. It is only in the silence and the stillness of observing whatever light that's showing up for you. Because at that moment, you're in the world of light. You're not in darkness. Whatever light is showing up for you, it's in the observation of it with non-attachment that the true light would reveal itself. What the Gnostic called gnosis. The gnosis will show up. Because instead of identifying with the light and identifying with the luminosity, you dissolve into it. You literally dissolve into it. And it comes only through stillness and witnessing and observation with non-attachment. So the way it works is that you basically okay, the way I can explain this is as follows. You know what people have near-death experience, they're all talking about the tunnel with the light. That tunnel with the light, that they feel all love and all that, and they get pulled toward the luminosity that they see. That luminosity that you see in the bardo, the first 7 days of the bardo, that luminosity is also the entrapment of the usurper. Let me explain. Any directional light that you see in front of you, that's coming toward you, and that you're moving toward, is part of the realm of the usurper, of the demiurge. When you really enter into the light, you're inside of it, and there is no direction. What I mean to say is that when you surrender and go completely into what I call infinity times infinity, or the emptiness, what happened in there is that I know I have the way, and the way I get into it is that I observe and I witness and I stay very still for a minute or two, sometimes 10, or I don't know how long, because time disappears. And then suddenly I feel myself in this immense volume. I don't have a body, but I know I am inside of it. And that volume is white, but it's not a directional light that's coming toward me. Rather, I am inside the light, and it's all around me. But the way the luminosity shows up, it is white, but it is not directional light. It's not coming in one direction or opposite or whatever. It's just, I am inside of it. I am dissolved inside of it. And when you're in that realm, you have entered dharmata, according to Tibetan Buddhism, which is what they call the indivisible emptiness and luminosity. It's a place where form, which is dimensional existence, that's the realm of the demiurge, and emptiness are merged into one. And once you are in that realm, the demiurge cannot touch you. Their influence cannot touch you. Nothing that they're doing can touch you, because when you're in that realm where you dissolve into the light, you become the light, there is no reflection and no shadows, and there is nothing for the demiurge to reflect. There is no ego left. What it really is, it's a process as we are identifying, as taking our initiation, 7th level, 8th level, 12 level, first level of ascension. This is where you meet the dwell on the threshold, and then you keep moving, you keep moving. As you keep moving, you get to a point where you get into that realm. We keep identifying with different things. And in order for us to identify, as we're going through all of these changes, we have to go to multiple ego death, where we think we are Bambi, but in fact, we might be not just Bambi. We might be Aladdin, or Princess Jasmine, or we might be a little bit of Cruella de Vil, or we might be evolve into becoming Ariel. And as we keep changing and growing and evolving, all of these ego deaths are connected to identity. The usurper wants us to be trapped in a story that they're feeding you. It's because the trauma you experienced when you were a child. It's because of this past life. It's because you incarnated, when you were in Arcturus or when you were in Lyra. It's because it's a story after story after story, and the story creates attachment. And if you're being fed a story by the reflection, you attach. You're not liberated. You're not in the true light. So you should get to a point in your process of accepting the true light where the physical universe and the story and the identity, us connecting to identity dissolve into completely becoming so neutral and so non-attached that we are observing everything, including the things we think we cannot live without. It could be money, it could be your health, it could be a relationship, it could be all the things. Just witness it from the point of view of being the ultimate observer, the unmoved mover. Now, this is a connection that's not going to happen overnight. You have to keep querying. You have to keep asking yourself, what am I not seeing? What am I not perceiving? What is behind the story that I'm being fed? That my consciousness is feeding me. And but I mean my consciousness it's your evolving ego that's passing all these tests. I believe I'm this person. I believe I'm that person. And as we are evolving, even in this past year, you and I have gone to multiple identities, shifted identities, because we are growing very quickly, right? And so as you're getting now to this point, you should be, this is the final thing, is to let go of all identity. Let go of everything. By observing everything and without reacting and being still and silent, without being emotionally charged into anything. And as you do this, you're going to get to a point where the dharmata, the essence of what everything is going to show itself to you. And it resembles, it's hard to describe. You don't have a body, but you are aware that you are, and you're inside this white, this is why I call it the white space. It's this white volume. There is no direction. The light doesn't come from above. It doesn't come from below. It doesn't come from behind. You're dissolved. You're inside the light. You're in it. It's everywhere. Any questions, any comments? I've said quite a bit. Any questions, any comments?
I would like to go back to what you were saying earlier. When you're in the light, when you're in that space, and you're asking, what am I not seeing? Is that because it might be the Demiurge that is confusing you with a false light? Or what is it that you're asking to be revealed?
It's the Demiurge that's confusing you.
I see. So what am I not seeing, meaning...
What's hidden behind what I'm seeing?
Oh, I see. So that means then that no matter how real it feels or seems, it may be indeed a false light, that place that you call the white light or whatever, that is, you can never trust anymore.
Completely. No. No.
Really?
And let me explain.
So when we feel all this benevolence, you're saying that it could be a demiurge making us think?
It is the Demiurge.
What do you mean it is the demiurge?
It's the final test.
Huh?
It's the final test. It's the Demiurge.
So this benevolence that we sometimes feel, we're so connected.
It is definitely the Demiurge. The Demiurge does not come in shadow. It comes in false light. And it's so difficult. Very few people pass this test because it's so confusing. Okay? Because it's making you feel superior and better than anyone else if you have this connection. And the moment you get into that I am better than someone else, it's your ego.
No, but I don't think that way. I'm just so grateful when that happens.
That-
Almost in tears.
Me too. That's what I was.
Yeah, so I
I'm not
never think
thinking
I'm better than
better
anybody. I'm just extremely, and I repeat in my head, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, because I am, and I even sometimes cry because it's incredible feeling. So
Right.
I'm confused now.
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
I had sent you all a video about this. Meltem, I'm going to resend it to you, okay?
Yes, please.
And I need you to watch this
Okay.
because it's explaining better, much better than I'm explaining now.
Mm-hmm.
It is that step of experiencing that benevolence and having the gratitude is needed to pass the final test.
Right.
Okay? And the final test is that you have to become neutral to the light itself and to the benevolence.
Mm. That's crazy.
You
mean I shouldn't even be grateful, or
you continue to be grateful, and then and whatever you're seeing and perceiving, you have to say to yourself, what's behind it?
Mm.
There is something else behind it. What's behind it?
Mm-hmm.
What am I not seeing? And you have to remain still and quiet. What am I not perceiving? There's something else behind it. And at some point of you doing this creed, it's not going to happen overnight. Something else will open up.
Mm. Okay.
And when you say, I just lost my train of thought.
I have one question while she's thinking about it. So this demiurge, first of all, there's Satanius who said there's the archon. So and then the goddess created the universe, God and the goddess. We know the whole story of creation. So how does this play into everything that we know of creation? I mean, you said it's a false. How does this being create this false reality? I mean, who is this being? Where does this come from?
This being is Lucifer. He's a fallen angel.
It is. Is it Lucifer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense now. Yes.
He's a fallen angel.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't know it was
Yeah, yeah.
Lucifer and Demiurge were the same.
The
Okay.
fallen angel. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, the writing of the Gnostic, half of it is about the archons and the demiurge. Half of the writing and how to overcome the test.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why the Catholic Church was so upset with them. Because they, around the time of the Qatar in the south of France in Languedoc, they existed. They had churches with crosses. They believed in Christ. They were praying to Christ as a prophet and all that. And they were living, and the Christian church and the Qatar church were across from each other. And when the first crusade, the first pope, the first crusade was done, the knights, there was an whole army that King Charlemagne had pulled together to come and eradicate the heresy. And the heresy was exactly this. Why would you believe that the light is not good? That there is some other reason? It's not that it's not good. It's that you need to be neutral to it.
Well, if you think about the fact that Satan was an angel before, then of course he holds so much light.
Exactly.
really.
Lucifer's name is the brilliant one.
Yeah, exactly. It is the brilliant one.
So, Pierre, when you say be
And he
moved
was the brilliant one.
to the light, does that mean you should not feel that rush of joy and
Oh,
so
no,
on?
no, you should.
Yes,
You should. And you
yes,
should have
yes.
gratitude.
No, you should have all of them. But after that happens, hold still and
Yeah.
ask yourself, what am I not seeing?
I see. Okay. So,
You understand what I'm saying? Because the feeling is real, your ego is in your identity. In other words, right after this, when you're feeling this, all of us become attached to that state. The problem is the attachment. That's when you get
What
trapped.
I'm understanding from here is that the light not necessarily is not benevolent, because I mean he holds light anyways. He's the brilliant one, even if it's whatever
It's
from
the
the
precursor to
past.
that
But
state.
our attachment to it is our is where we
Problem.
fail, and where he catches us, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
attachment and
Yeah,
identification.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That it's not the light itself. It's our
Yeah,
attachment.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
our attachment and us identifying.
Yes, yes, yes. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And the moment you do this, you're trapped.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Give me a minute. I'm in class now. I'll call you back. Okay. It's our attachment to it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the problem. Is that we identify all of a sudden you identify to it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, in yoga, we say we have to detach from everything to find
Yes,
enlightenment. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. That's exactly the same.
Even the sattvic feeling, which is the benevolence, we have to detach from that. We
Yeah.
say that in yoga to find true enlightenment.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the same thing.
exactly.
That's exactly the same thing. And it's
Which is hard to understand.
very hard, very hard.
Very hard to understand.
Particularly
Yeah,
when you're struggling and you're feeling this, you're feeling grateful, you're so happy,
yeah, yeah,
and then you get attached to it, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
final
then you
closure
keep
of the
seeking that. You keep seeking that state,
yes, it's
almost like an addiction. Yeah.
an addiction, right? And then it closes you,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then you have to go beyond it and say, okay, I'm letting go of all of this. There's something else behind it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need to observe it. I need to become non-attached to it. And as you do this and you become non-attached, then something else begins to show up for
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So many tests, geez.
you. But it's worth it. Any question, Janice?
well,
Yes?
is there something beyond time and space, something like that, that can clear away the illusion?
No. No.
Hmm.
No shortcut to the learning.
There's no shortcut. You have to sit with it, and you have to literally. Okay. In Descartes in his meditation did an exercise that was similar to this. Okay. He began to doubt everything else that exists in the universe. Hold on a second. It looks like that phone is not turned off. Okay. He began to doubt everything. He basically said that because he took an eraser and say, I cannot trust the king and whatever the church is telling me about the king and all that, I'm gonna erase it. I cannot trust the church. I'm gonna erase it. I cannot trust the Bible. I'm gonna erase it. And he erased everything that there is. But he didn't go far enough. The only thing he said is that I think, therefore I am. And this is the way he rebuilt the world. But what, hold on a second. what we're saying, what we're saying here is something else. Is that you have to begin to dissolve everything, including your own ego and your own identity, and let me explain it in a different way. As you dissolve each identity, I'm not Bambi, I'm not Little Mermaid, I'm not Quasimodo, I'm not, I'm not, your identity keeps shifting. Where you're going to, and the final identity is that you become now an immense and vast being whose exists in a world of non-existence. And in order for that to happen, your ego has to dissolve completely. And that's where true illumination begins. So as you're going through all of these various identities and you're evolving, I'm indivisible with God. That's an identity. And you get to a point where you go beyond that, because where God actually exists, where the true light actually exists, there is no identity. Rather, instead of having a singularity of consciousness, a focus point of you existing as Pierre, Janice, or Melton, it's you now as something else. You exist now as a collective consciousness, an immense and vast and infinite collective consciousness. And for that to happen, it cannot compare to anything that you linearly have right now. You have to let go of everything.
I was going to say, they don't make it easy, huh? But I'm thinking at the same time that while the challenge seems to be, to me at this moment, unfair, yet I know that God permits this because it's to our benefit as well.
Correct. 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 Because when you enter that realm, it's the essence of how everything really is, which means that you will now become co-creator. Because when you stop identifying as a singularity and you now identify as a plurality, then it's game change. It's a completely different realm you enter. And by the way, when you enter that realm, it's extremely confusing. By my connection into that realm, I was confused for over a year and a half. I didn't know where I was. And by the way, you're all entering that realm all the time. You just don't know that you're there. Every time you're doing a meditation or a connection where you think you pass out, you go somewhere, you think I fell asleep, I passed out, I went somewhere else, I don't know where I was. And then you came back into yourself feeling great, but you came back afterwards thinking to yourself, I don't know what happened. You went into that plurality where the collective awareness of God exists. This is where you really become indivisible with God. Right now, when you identify yourself, I am indivisible with God, and you identify, you're still looking at God through a mirror. When you really enter it, it's a bardo. It's a transit into something else. And when that bardo occurs, most of us initially pass out. We fall asleep because the state of consciousness, for me, being a singularity of consciousness into now, or being a part of a collective awareness that goes into infinity times infinity, most of us cannot handle it. The transit is too rapid. What happened is that if you're doing your torsion field, there will come a point where the torsion field will suddenly expand you into, as you finish a torsion field and you begin to examine it, and you sit into the vast expanse. Because if you're aware of the torsion field and you're aware of the core and the axis that exists within you, the funnel, and you're also aware how far each torsion field extends. And the next one is bigger, and the next one is bigger, rotating counter to each other, bigger and bigger. There comes a point where the torsion field will encompass the entire universe, everything else that's known. And when that occurs at the very end, it's very easy, if you continue to witness just the torsion field, how big or vast or immense it is. Just witness it. Suddenly, you're there. You see yourself inside this vast volume, where there is no up, there is no down, there is no front, there is no behind. There's nothing like this. All you know is that you exist, and there is unbelievable stillness. And in fact, when I go into that space, I begin to hear a pitch, like a background noise, like a hum, like a background noise. And there are no thoughts. Initially, no thoughts. None whatsoever. For what may seem to me hours and days, it feels like a long time, where all I'm observing and I'm trying to rotate myself around is to figure out how far this thing extends. And I am at rest, at complete rest.
Question, Pierre?
Yes.
Since we are an illusion of separation, this existence we think of as reality being all illusion, I suppose, would it be possible that this Demiurge is here to test us to see beyond the mirror, to how do I say, to see the direct connection with God, the no separation state?
Yes. Ultimately, all of these beings, whether it's the Archon, whether it's Hasatan or the Demiurge, they're all ultimately, they're part of God's plan. You're totally right. Ultimately, the Demiurge is the usurper is helping us.
To see beyond the illusion.
That's right. That's
the
right.
illusion isn't just the Demiurge, it's just the detonation and the descent down to the third dimension is all an illusion, right? So we're just thinking that we're separated.
Correct. And and the way back, that last minute test is that it is in luminosity. It is in feeling good. And it's very difficult and complicated because we're struggling so much and we think the feeling good is a good thing. But the problem is that, as Melton has said, and we have concluded, it's that you get attached to the feeling good. And the benevolence and all the things that gets connected to it. And it becomes an identity, and then you're trapped. But if you can hold and remain non-attached to, not let your ego get attached to it, then all of a sudden you enter into something else. And it's not described, the words that I'm using, stillness and all that, it's not even describable. It cannot describe the experience itself. Because it's not linear, it's not a singularity of awareness, because you're now vast, you're as big as the expanse itself. And in my personal experience, to support what you're saying, what you're asserting, Janice, in my personal experience as well, I think the usurper is actually is doing us a favor, or trying to help us refine our consciousness.
Hmm.
Unconsciously, of course.
Well, yeah. You know,
They all are, all the dark.
well,
I mean, in the end, if you know how to work around it.
again and again, the usurper doesn't deal in darkness and shadow. He deals in reflection and inversion.
Yeah.
He deals he's not in the shadow because he's a celestial being. But
Yes.
he inverts the light. He mirrors it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He inverts it, and it becomes a trap.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of like it only advanced student and people who have like a fine nose can actually pass this test, because it's all about realizing, yes, I'm feeling good, great, but all of that is supposed to come as I'm moving toward the light. But then all of a sudden, once you enter the realm that's beyond it, you realize what you experienced before was actually fake, because now you know what it really feels like. And it's a realm of, and the torsion field is extremely helpful for me because it makes me understand the volume of that experience. And as 12 of them get built on top of me, and then they extend all the way to everywhere in the universe. And all of a sudden, if I stay still and I just observe it for a while, all of a sudden it's like a snap of a finger. My consciousness is in this immensity. But now I don't pass out, I'm conscious. I don't pass out. I'm now conscious.
I like to think about it as a step rather than false, because there is an experience on its own.
Yes.
And it's a part of the growth that we're all going to experience going towards ascension, right?
Yes.
I think it's just a step and not the fact that the light is wrong or the feeling. It's just our attachment to it that needs to go away, which is the next step that will truly take us to the next level of true, I guess, awareness or ascension, you might call it. So I think I would like to think about it as a step rather than false light, because it is something that we all experience as we go through the steps of ascension.
Yeah. And when you get into that realm, it's very hard to explain, but
I've been nodding out loud a lot lately, so that makes sense. Like literally going into something and then coming back out. I'm like, oh, where was I? Like
that was it. Yeah,
you're
there.
losing consciousness all the time.
Yeah,
It's been
you're
happening
there.
a lot lately, so
You're there, and when you float in there without knowing, it's what in Tibetan Buddhism they describe. You become unconscious tendency floating in emptiness.
yeah,
You're unconscious, but you're in the emptiness.
yeah.
But the emptiness is not vacuum. It's not the void. It's actually the essence of everything.
It does feel like a word. Yeah, you come out, you're like, whoa, where was I?
No, but in truth, it's not a void. It's actually it's the foundation of everything that's created. This is the realm of gods.
Yeah, prime creator.
Yeah.
Source, yeah.
It's the cosmic soup. It's the ingredient that makes the cosmic soup.
Exactly. Neither the light nor the container, which is the female part. It is actually just beingness.
Beingness. That's correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And when you're there, it's very hard to. It took me a minute to realize. First, I just couldn't comprehend. I was very confused. I couldn't comprehend.
It does get confusing.
It was very hard. I couldn't confuse. I'm like, I don't have a body. I'm floating. There is no up. There is no landmark. There's no floor. There's no ceiling. There's no vision. I don't see a celestial being. It's just this white thing. That's all
Just is.
It just is.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this? What is this? Where am I? And it took me a long time to acclimate, to calm down and acclimate myself. And once I did, I began to notice other things. Oh my God, I have no thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I am in stillness. I am at rest. It took me months to realize that I was at rest. Because every wrinkle, every burden, everything that monkey mind, blah, 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 every worry that I have, the moment I enter in there, everything drops. And here is the beauty of this space. The problem and the struggle that you have in your real life, okay, in the 3D life, that are causing you to not sleep at night and to be worried, I need to do this to make sure that happened. Right now, everybody's having financial problem because of the way the world is now with the tariffs. So all of us are worried about this, that will. The moment you enter into that realm, the problems that you have, that feel, that immensity, find a way to solve your problem so that when you get back, an inspiration comes to you. Or out of nowhere, somebody calls you for a booking. Or, an opportunity presents itself. Sometimes even when you're in that space, the phone rings. Somebody calls you and tells you, I need you to come and work. Or if it's a healing you're seeking, the healing that you're seeking comes in that space. Or somebody show up at your door. That has happened to me. Somebody shows up at my door with money in hand and say, here, God told me to give you this. So what I'm saying is that when you enter into this, you dissolve into it instead of trying to seek it as a goal. And for that to happen, you have to be non-attached to it. Suddenly you enter into a realm where you are now, the volume, that immensity is way more intelligent than you are. And any whisper of lack that you may have, sometimes I get answers for questions I didn't even know I was formulating in my subconscious mind. Everything, by the way, that I'm teaching you came from that space. By going into it and sitting into it with no agenda, because when I go in there, everything gets erased. And all I'm doing is trying to acclimate myself and trying to understand it. And suddenly, at the very tail end of the connection, some idea or concept or download or something just drops. Although the realm feels initially like it's a void, it's emptiness, it is not formless. Because, what's the best way to describe this? It feels like fluid or waves are moving about me, about where my awareness is, although I don't have a body, but where my awareness is. I can feel things floating around me. All of them benevolent, but different than when I am in the light and feeling benevolence coming from God. It's very different. It's not exactly the same. It feels a little bit more refined and more subtle. But I can feel things moving about me, and I cannot describe to you what the feelings and the emotion are, and I know each wave that passed through me is different. And eventually one of them hits me, and then an idea just pops, complete with all of the information. Oh, you need to teach this part, and then poof, it just shows up. I know this is slightly confusing. Well, more than slightly, it is definitely confusing. But the thing that I'm holding that has helped me navigate this, and again, I'm thanking Lord Melchizedek for this and the Guardian Alliance of Light for their teaching and their technology. It's doing the torsion field. And when you do it multiple times throughout the day, at some point, particularly when you begin to realize how vast or wide this torsion field is, and how big it has extended, how far geometrically it has extended, that volume mirrors you being inside the light. And suddenly, at some point, you're going to find yourself in it. And when you're there, you can begin to explore it at your leisure. It took me a long time to figure out these little tidbits that I'm giving you. First, I know that I was in complete stillness. I didn't have a desire to move. In the Catholic charismatic movement, when you go into that space, they call it the rest of the Holy Spirit, meaning you have no desire to move, not even your body. It's like you become almost catatonic because you feel so surrendered of all your burden. Everything is released, everything is let go because you're non-attached to everything. Everything is completely let go. And it took me a long while to realize, oh my God, I don't have a thought. The monkey mind, my mind usually is racing with 3,000 things. I need to do this first, and then that second. I'm before I go to sleep tonight. I need to send this email out. I have to do this. I have to make sure I wash it, throw out the garbage, do this. And none of that is there. And then beyond that, it extends into the understanding and the knowing that this place is way more intelligent than me. Any questions, any comments? There is a okay. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, as always. Even though I can enter that space, there is a part of my ego, what usually in these spiritual teaching they call residual self-image, that's still holding on when I'm in that space. Because although I am inside the light, I've dissolved into it, there's a part of me that cannot bring myself to understand that this vast, confusing environment that I'm in is actually my true body. It's me. Because that's the final realization. And when you can do this, this is why in the Tibetan book called The Dead, they keep talking about recognition that the light is you and enlightenment are the same. There's a part of me that keeps, as I'm floating in this vastness and I'm so confused and I'm trying to figure out where I am, there's a part of me that still feel I exist and I must be separate from the volume that I'm in. I'm working on it. I'm working on it because the final step is for me to identify and to know that this is me, this is my body. And the moment that happens, you become illumined. The true light, what in Tibetan Buddhism they call the natural light, as opposed to the false light, the natural light. Then enlightenment occurs. Any questions, any comments? All right, let us take a 5-minute break, and we'll do the torsion field, and I'll guide you into an expansion, into experiencing, hopefully entering into this multiplicity of awareness. 5 minutes.
Okay, that's me, Pierre. If you can send me the meditation, I'd appreciate it. It's in video form. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Five minutes, okay?
Take a very deep and slow breath. And as you inhale and exhale deeply and slowly, allow the universal life force that permeates everything to enter into your lungs. Keep breathing deeply and slowly. And let your soul and your awareness drop in the middle of your chest. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Let your mind and your heart sync with each other. And notice what you noticed. And the guardian alliance of light approach you. Offering to give you their shields of light and protection. And a band of neutrality. If you're ready to accept this gift at this time, answer affirmatively. And let the energy of the first guardian begin in the core of the earth counter-rotating, moving through your core, exiting outside of your head into the top of the fourth dimensional body, and creating all around you. A torsion field of neutrality. Deep. The axis at the top of your head extends, and it attracts now the second guardian coming in from the top of the fifth dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet, into the core of the earth, and creating all around you. A torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends as it attracts now the energy of the third guardian, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of your feet, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head, and going into the top of the sixth dimensional body while creating all around you. A torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of your head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the fourth guardian, coming in from the top of the seventh dimensional body, passing through the top of your head and your core while rotating clockwise, going into the core of the earth and creating all around you. A torsion field of neutrality. axis at the top of your head extends. And it attracts now the energy of the next guardian, coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating. Moving through the bottom of your feet, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head, and going into the top of the 8-dimensional body. While creating all around you
a torsion field of neutrality.
The axis at the top of your head extends. And it attracts down the energy of the 6th guardian. Coming in from the top of the 9th-dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet, and going to the core of the earth, creating all around you the torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the 7th guardian. Coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through your core, exiting outside of your head, exiting at the top of the 10th dimensional body, and creating all around you
a torsion field of neutrality.
The axis at the top of my head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 8th guardian coming in from source, passing through the top of the 11th dimensional body, moving through your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet, and going to the core of the earth while creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the 9th guardian coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving upward to the bottom of your feet, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head, and into the top of the dimensional body, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 10th guardian coming from the top of the 13th dimensional body, passing through our core, exiting at the bottom of our feet and into the core of the earth, and creating all around us a torsion field of light and neutrality. The axis at the bottom of our feet extends and it attracts down the energy of the 11th guardian, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of our feet, passing through our core, exiting outside of our head, and going into the top of the 14th dimensional body, creating all around us a torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of our head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 12th and final guardian coming in from source, passing through the top of our head as it rotates clockwise, moving through our central axis, exiting at the bottom of our feet and going to the core of the earth while creating all around us a torsion field of neutrality. From the roots of Amen and into infinity times infinity, I am unburdened and I release all attachments. Show me what I am not seeing. What am I not hearing? Remove the veil and let me witness what exists beyond. I enter the rest of God. I am in Dharmata. The multiverse without form. Let me witness the essence of being. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Take a very deep and slow breath. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you. Do we still say deep and profound reverence for the
We're gonna
gift?
we're gonna add that at some later point. For now, let's stick to the basic, okay? I want to make sure the structure is created. Okay? Are we there?
Okay, but it's the same structure, isn't it?
Yes, it is the same structure. You can say it if you want to. For me, I found that if I felt this, I personally felt disconnected for a long time. I wasn't connected in the same way to the feel of neutrality. And
Oh,
when I say deep and profound reverence, it took me somewhere else.
oh, I see.
Okay? So for now, I want to reinforce the neutrality of the torsion field to reconnect. And I will reinsert that for me. You might be in a different place.
Okay, okay, I
Okay?
understand. Thank you, thank you.
You might be in a different place, but I'm sharing, since I'm being always very honest with all of you, that was my journey. Okay?
Hmm, okay, I understand. I didn't feel that, but um, I just
If you
didn't.
want to add it, you go ahead, add it, if it works for you.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
for me at this moment, it takes me somewhere else, and I'm not feeling neutrality. I'm feeling something else.
okay, okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you all for being on the call tonight. Deep love, everyone. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, thank you for following us on Patreon. Love you. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you next week. I know these are incredibly advanced stuff, but I love you so much for following me and for being on the path with me. Deep love. Good night, everyone.
Good night, love you.